What's up, YouTube? It is your boy JB, and we are here today with the review for Kandi and the Gang Season 1, you guys, episode number 8. The episode was titled Exes Who Lunch, you guys. So, before we go ahead and get into the review, if you guys are watching this video or any other video on the channel and are not subscribed to the channel, need you guys to do me that solid favor and stop taking me out on this date and having me pay for it at the end of it. You guys know you can do me that favor by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, turning on your post notifications, sharing the video, you guys. And with that out the way, without further ado, let's discuss Kandi and the Gang, shall we? Don't you want to go to the place to be where strangers become family over fried chicken and mac and cheese from 3 old ladies' recipes? Won't you and your family come and hang with Kandi and the Gang? I love that theme song, you guys. So let's go ahead and talk about it. So this episode, we see Dom. Actually, before that, we saw Mama Joyce. We saw Aunt Nora and Aunt Bertha. So they were getting ready to put them on a dating app, right? Love the OLGs. But then we see June and Chandrika, right? So June and Chandrika, they were meeting up with Dom, right? And they just want to chat it up with Dom. You know, talk about what happened last night, you know, with the whole situation with we were invited to the housewarming party that wasn't really a housewarming party, but then we sat outside because we weren't invited upstairs. Right. So, you know, Dom is like, well, you know, I had talked to Safari and, you know, I talked to Safari and Patrick when I got up there, and Safari was like, you know, I don't want them to come up. And, you know, Dom was like, but, you know, you invited, talking about Patrick, that you invited them here, which he did, right? So June is like, you know, we should treat this like the club, right? You know, like when you go to the club, if you get to the door, they let you in, but they don't let your people in. You be like, you know what? My peoples didn't come, so I'm going to peace out with my peoples, right? And I got that, and I agreed with June. Like, if I'm going somewhere, right? We pre-gamed together. We went down to OLG. We pre-gamed together. We drank together. We walked up together. You and Brandon said y'all gonna go up, scope the scene, and let us know, you know, come back down and let us know, right? But you scoped the scene, you didn't come back down. Torrin, Safari, and Patrick came back down. But the people that we showed up here with, they just was like, peace out to you. We got in, y'all, we'll catch you later, right? So Dom got upset about that. It was a lot, you know, she's talking about there's a lot going on, and she feels like they wrong for, you know, she feels that June was wrong for saying it. I'm like, no, Dom, he not wrong for saying it, because that's how it is. Like, how would you feel if Safari had an issue with you? You went there with Chandrika and June. Chandrika and June went upstairs, and they was like, you know, Dom and Brandon downstairs, and you know, she would have been like, oh yeah, girl, forget. No, Dom and Brandon are not coming up. You would feel some type of way, right? So put yourself in their shoes, right? But Chandrika also feels that Torrin is wrong as well. I couldn't follow her logic about Torrin being wrong, because Torrin did come downstairs with he came downstairs with Patrick and Safari, right? So I was like, I don't get that, but I did. Then when she said it a little bit deeper, I was like, okay, I do get that, right? Torrin knew that she really didn't want Chandrika there, but yet instead he kept asking her to come and come to the housewarming party. So I was like, okay, Chandrika, I do get what you're saying right then and right there, right? But it's like Dom just don't want to see where she's wrong. And you guys know how I feel about Dom. You guys know I like Dom. Dom and Patrick are my two favorites, right? And I was trying to figure out last week, I'm like, what is it about Dom that I like so much? And I had to think about it. Dom looks just like my aunt, one of my aunts, right? I've told you guys that I have an aunt and uncle my uncle is a year older than me, and my aunt is a year younger than me. She looks like my aunt that's younger than me. They look just alike. So then we move over and we see, so we're over at OLG, right? So we see, you know, Philip and Brian, they in the restaurant. They actually laughing with each other, right? Because I think there was something on the bar, and, you know, Philip just brushed it off, right? And Brian was like, you need soap and water for that. He's like, what? So he was like, they were just bantering with each other, right? So then we see Patrick. Patrick is outside, and Todd comes up outside where, I'm going to need you to figure out how to park before you hit this car, buddy. Oh, he's backing into the parking space. Thank you. Because I was just like, wait a minute, buddy. We ain't gonna do this. So yeah, so Patrick and Todd, they're talking about the housewarming party, right? Patrick is like, with the housewarming party, it was more people than I expected. He said you were expecting less. I'm gonna be real with you, Todd. I was expecting less too, especially once y'all got to the house party and y'all saw that there was nowhere to sit. Especially there's nowhere to sit. I would have been like, you know what, Patrick, I brought you a gift. You and Melvin. So interesting when it comes to Patrick and Melvin's apartment, you never hear anybody mention Melvin. It's always Patrick this and Patrick when in the apartment, as if Melvin doesn't live there as well. But hey, that's neither here nor there, right? So Todd is then telling, Patrick how, he's used to Patrick being this outgoing spirit, right? And he's now pretty boring, right? I tweeted this, you guys, and I'm not trying to be, and I know somebody told me in my comments section about what Kandi said on Speak On It, and I know Kandi did a Speak On It last night with Patrick. I didn't watch it. I don't really watch Speak On It, you guys, so yeah, if you guys want to tell me what goes on Speak On It, because I don't know what she's going to be doing next week for Speak On It, because you guys know Real Housewives of Atlanta is back next week, so we're going to have a busy Sunday. And I'm also thinking about doing that new show that's coming to Bravo. It's gonna be a night full of Atlanta. It's gonna be Kandi and the gang, Real Housewives of Atlanta, and that matchmaking show. I might watch that and review that. We'll see once we get there, right? But I tweeted this, like I said, I know y'all told me Kandi said Patrick do so much stuff, but when Patrick is in his interview and when Patrick is talking, Patrick talks very slow and he talks like he is on the spectrum, and I'm just like, is he on the spectrum, right? Because he just gives those vibes that he gives those vibes that he's very delayed. I had to think about what I want to say. He gives delayed vibes, like he is so delayed. But I don't know. I know you guys have told me Kandi said this, right? I get that, right? But y'all don't see it. Okay, never mind. So June pulled up, right? June's name is Derek. Where do we get June from? Maybe somebody did say maybe he's a junior, because they called, I didn't know that we call people June when they're a junior. I mean, in my family, if it's a junior, we just say, hey, junior. But okay. So June pulled up, he brought a gift for Chandrika. He called Chandrika, asked her where she was. She says, I'm at work. I was like, wait a minute. You at work, you at the host stand, and you're taking a phone call, and you got a line of people, and then we said come downstairs the back way. She left, told the guy at the front door, just had him scan the QR code. I was like, wow. The unprofessionalism. And then the fact that the rest of the staff that's on camera went outside. I was like, well, damn. Chandrika left out. Shardo left out. So Shardo is not at the host stand. Then you got Brian. I'm like, well, who's taking care of Brian's tables? Then you got Brandon. Brandon ain't ever doing shit, so I wasn't even surprised by Brandon. Then Dom comes out. I'm like, well, who the hell is behind the bar? I was like, well, damn, y'all just, okay. Nice car, though, by the way. So before Chandrika actually got out there, Todd was talking to both Patrick and to June, right? So Patrick and June, we all know that Patrick and June had an interaction with each other last year, right? A year ago when, they first started filming the show. But at this point, they cool with each other, right? And, June was like, when me and Chandrika came to the party, we didn't come there on any rah-rah type of shit, right? We came there, to be supportive and whatnot, right? So then Todd suggested they all go on a triple date because, Safari's like, well, my girl didn't really know what the vibe was, what y'all's energy was. So that's why she said no, right? So then after that, Chandrika, like I said, Chandrika came out, saw a car. She was happy. She was giddy. Everybody came out there. So at one point, it was Shardo, Brian, and Torrin, right? They were all sitting outside. And June went up there to check all three of them, right, about them. Torrin had an issue that his friend didn't come to him, right? And I can get that. I can see his point, But I can also see June like, that's my woman, that's my girl, and I'm concerned. I'm just concerned, a concerned spouse, soon to be spouse, right? So I got it. I didn't have an issue with that, but so you just left out the parking space that you was in to come back and get into the same parking space. How much fucking sense does that make? I don't. Let's pause here, you guys, and move forward. All right, you guys. So I did forget to mention that at the OLG, Brian went up to Shandrika, told Shandrika to come over to the crib, right? I think it was him and Shardo, or maybe it was him and her and Torrin. It was three of them. They were talking. So you guys know Brian's two pays, right? He calls him Pepe, LePepe. Well, he's getting ready to bury one of LePepe's, right? Brian, I like Brian. Y'all know how I feel about Brian. I want Brian to burn all of the LePepe's. Burn them all. Torch them. So Brian is having a funeral for this damn week. That fool came down there dressed in all black. I cracked up laughing seeing him because it was hilarious to me, right? So they buried, what was the name of the wig? Leslie Wig, right? So Leslie Wig, she was born in 2020 and she died in 2022. So rest in peace to Leslie Wig. So Chandrika, they go back inside and Chandrika is, talking to them, right? And she's telling them like how she felt, right? And they don't agree with her. The only person that I feel in this situation that she should be kind of upset with, that's with the guys, is Torrin. Because Torrin did try to get you to come to that party. And Torrin himself saw how Safari reacted about her coming. So I don't know why Torrin was so adamant that Chandrika came to the party. So I got that. And they told her about June coming up to them, basically checking them, right? It is what it is. But she told them what they did was shady, right? And Brian says, no, your beef is with Dom. I agree with him. Her beef is with Dom, but her beef can also be with Torrin, right? Her beef can be with Torrin because Torrin was the one that threw the housewarming party, right? Torrin was the one that kept telling her to come to the housewarming party, so she can then have an issue with Torrin. But as far as Brian and Shardo goes, she doesn't really have to have it. She ain't got nothing. Shardo and Brian ain't done you nothing, right? Could Shardo and Brian have come downstairs to check on you? Absolutely, because I know she said she was down there for 30 minutes. Shardo and Brian could have come down there, but they didn't. It wasn't for them to do. That's up to the hostess, the host or the hostess, and the people that you came with, and that was Brandon and Dom. So you need to go check Brandon and Dom, as well as checking Torrin, Patrick, not Safari. So the people that you should be checking is Patrick, Torrin, Dom, and Brandon. Those four people need to be checked. And I'm going to go down the line why each one of them needs to be checked. Patrick needs to be checked because you invited her. When Safari said she's disinvited, you should have then went to her and said, you know what, hey, Drika, so my girl, she says, she don't really feel comfortable with you coming, and leave it at that. Torrin, you knew this. Why did you keep asking her to come? Brandon and Dom, y'all came with her. At least go down there and check on your friend. I'm not even going to, excuse me, y'all, didn't mean to burp in your face. I'm not even going to sit here and say that you had to go back downstairs and be like, hey, you know what, since they didn't let you in, we ain't going in. You could do that. You don't have to do that. But what you could have done if you felt like you needed to stay or wanted to stay, you could have went down there and said, hey, so they said that you guys can't come back up. And you say, do y'all want to go somewhere and have fun and do something? Or are y'all cool with us going back upstairs? That's what you could have said. But hey, it didn't happen. So then we're going to move over to this triple date, you guys. So the triple date with Patrick and Safari, who looked good. They looked really nice, by the way. Patrick and Safari, Kandi and Todd, as well as June and Chandrika, right? So I tweeted this. Safari is a very beautiful girl, right? Her attitude and her disposition is just stank to me. Because she's just sitting there and she's just looking stank-a-dank. And I'm just like, you're such a cute girl. You just look so upset. And for what? I don't get it, right? So Patrick and Patrick and June obviously know of each other, right? But Safari and Chandrika have actually never even met each other. So Kandi was like, "Have you two met each other?" No. Okay, well, Chandrika, Safari, Chandrika. Now you've met. Kandi, stay out of this. So they say, so why do you want them to come to the party? Because I think it was June that was talking to him. She was like, the reason, and I got what she was saying, right? I don't know you guys' energy. I don't know you guys' space. I don't know what kind of vibe you was coming with. I don't know your energy. So for me and in my environment, I just wanted a controlled environment where I can control the energies that are in there. And I respect that, right? So then, they're talking, and Kandi says, well, how did you two meet? Talking to June and Chandrika, we met through Tinder. Y'all met through Tinder? How did that happen? So they met through Tinder. It was supposed to be from how they were talking, it sounded like it was supposed to be a hit it and quit it kind of situation. But a month in, he asked her to marry him, and they've been together for 2 years, right? Well, then, and it was Todd who asked Patrick and Safari, how did they meet? Patrick says she was in his DM. She says that's not what it was. You were in my DMs for 2 years. So she was curving him, right? So then we also find out that her name is Miriam, because Todd says, is Safari your real name? She says no. He says, so you changed it? She says, no, people just call me Safari. He says, so what is your name? She says, it's Miriam. I was like, girl, I would have never got a Miriam from you. So, like I said, Patrick was in her DMs for 2 years. The reason why she didn't really give him a chance because she thought he was a player. And then she said, I thought he was a trick. They said, a trick? What do you constitute as a trick? Someone that you have sex with and they give you money. I was like, you do know that's a hoe and a prostitute, right? You do know that that's prostitution. Because I was like, girl, you do know that's prostitution, right? Someone that you have sex with and they pay you. That is, there could be legal prostitution, but that is prostitution at its finest. But hey, okay, I guess. Let's pause here and move forward, you guys. All right, you guys, so then we move over to OLG, right? So we see Don and we see Philip talking, right? So they're talking about Brandon and Dom, right? And Brandon comes up. They asked Brandon, what have they decided to do, right? Because that they're saying that one of them needs to go. And you guys remember, Brandon was trying to say that it should be Dom. And I'm like, why should it be Dom? You're the one that pursued her. She ain't pursued you. And then she was the one that was working there first. You saw her and came and got a job there, which I still think that is the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life. I'm trying to holler at somebody. I'm going to go into your place of business. I'm going to go to your job. And then I'm going to apply to work there just so I can talk to you. That is stupid. Why not just say, hey, what? Okay, what you could do, it might be a little creepy, right? But, you have your select date that you go to the bar. You hope that she's there working, right? Go there maybe 2-3 times, right? And then on the second or third time, be like, hey, I think you're cute. I would like to get to know you. Like, do you have a boyfriend? That's the first question. Do you have a boyfriend? If she says, no, I don't have a boyfriend. Well, how about me and you, chop it up? Like, can I get your number? Can we go out sometime? Something like that. But you went and got a whole job there. Dumb as fuck. So Dom comes in, right? So they ask her, so what's up between you two, right? And she's like, oh, we dating. And they were like, well, you guys got to make a decision. And see, Brandon doesn't think that there's going to be a problem. And I'm like, are you blind? There's already a problem. She gets preferential treatment. But okay, whatever. I still say Brandon should leave. So then we move over and we see Todd. So Todd is at the barbershop with Patrick, and Kandi has gone to a restaurant with Safari, right? So Todd is talking to Patrick about Safari, right? And basically, Patrick asked Todd how did he know Kandi was the one. He said he knew she was the one with the way she loves her family and he knew how she would be good with his kids. And then he said, one time she asked him to get down and pray with her, and that's how he knew she was the one. He says, wait a minute, but are you trying to say that your girl is the one? He says, yes. And I was like, how old is Patrick, right? Patrick got to be, I think they said Patrick is 27. I'm like, that is pretty young to be ready to get married. Because he talks about he's thinking about proposing to her. I'm like, that is very young, right? So then we got Kandi, and you guys know how Kandi is about her family. Her mama, her man, and her food, and her family. Y'all know Kandi will set it off over her family, right? So she felt some type of way about the fact that Safari said that Patrick was a trick. So Safari, like I said before, she beautiful girl, but she definitely comes off very cold, right? Because they were talking, but she eventually said that she does love Patrick, right? And she loves the way he is with his mama, and it just makes her want to be better with her parents. It is what it is. I still think they're too young for marriage, but hey, they're gonna do whatever the hell they want to do. So then we're over at Brian's crib, and I'm sweating, you guys. I should have turned on some air. We're over at Brian's crib, but I'm almost done, so I can go get me something to eat. So we're at Brian's crib. So Brian, Torin, Shardo, and Chandrika and Dom show up, right? So again, you guys know I loves me some Dom, but I'm so confused with Dom. Why did you hug Shardo and then make that face? Don't hug the boy if you don't like him. So Chandrika tells them about the date and how, Safari said that Patrick was a trick. And then she says, and also we brought up what happened with the housewarming party, right? And Patrick threw you under the bus talking about Torin. He says, expect it, right? So then they were talking about Shardo apologized for not coming down to check on Chandrika, right? And he says, but I talked to Dom and I told Dom she needs to come down and check on you. And Dom was like, you ain't said nothing to me like that. The producers rolled back that beautiful bean footage, and he actually did tell you. And I remembered it last week's episode. He told you to go down and check on her, right? So Dom got in her feelings, and she's going off on Shardo. And I'm still sitting here thinking to myself, like, Dom, I fucks with you, girl. I love me some Dom, but baby, you was wrong. You're doing all this hoopla, you making all this fuss when you were in the wrong. But okay, Dom, I guess. But hey, it is what it is. And then she just told him, like, don't have Shardo around her. Cool, we got it. So then we wrap up the episode. We see Patrick. He got his mama Weenie, Mama Joyce, Aunt Bertha, and Kandi over there, right? He's asking them what they think about Safari because he is thinking about proposing to Safari. He got a ring for her. I won't say that the ring was nice, but again, I just think that they're too young, and I also think that he's on the spectrum. And he said he proposed to another girl, so I don't even know if he's really, I don't know if he just likes the idea of being engaged, or I don't know. You guys can let me know what you think about it, but that's all I got for you guys for Kandi and the gang. I will see you guys again on Wednesday. I'm going to try to do Married at First Sight, you guys. I'm going to try. But I'll see you guys later. Until then, stay safe. Take care of yourselves. Remember, wash your hands, you guys. Wear a mask. Socially distance. Be blessed. And I'll catch you guys in the next one.